Mark here, and today we are looking at the Tapo C575D by TP-Link. This is a dual lens camera at 4K resolution. This video is sponsored by TP-Link, but like always, I give you all of the information, the audio, the video, and let you make an informed decision. So pricing on this camera, you can get it for $230 US, $160 Canadian, or if you live in the UK, £189. Now keep in mind these prices are at the time of recording this video, and they may go up or they may go on sale. So I will put a link down in the description so you can click on and check out pricing in your area. Subscriptions. Now this is a pretty hot topic that I personally have. Subscriptions. I do not like to have to pay extra money to have annual subscriptions. So a lot of companies do lock you into a subscription base to store your information or for AI detection to work. Tapo is one of the brands that supports offline with AI detection in their camera line. So if you choose to get a subscription and pay a monthly bill, you can do so, but keep in mind this camera will work offline as well as its AI detection. It will take a memory card, micro SD card up to 512 gigabytes. So let's talk about specs. So this camera does have two lenses. They are both 4K, which are 8 megapixel at 3840 by 2160, and they operate at 15 frames per second. So with the two lenses, the fixed lens has a horizontal field of view of 138.1 and a manual tilt of 20 degrees. The PT lens is an 8mm telephoto lens and has a 42.7 horizontal field of view. The camera has an IP rating of 66 for weather, and as I mentioned, the storage capacity is 512 gigabytes, which you can store and back up all your information. This has Wi-Fi 2 and 5 for connectivity wirelessly, and if you choose, you can hook it up to PoE, power over Ethernet, and it does come with a DC power cable should you choose not to do that. If you would like to do a PoE, you can pick up something, which I did pick up because I need an extra one for some of the cameras I have here. And this is the TP-Link 8-port gigabit with PoE. All you do is you hook up the system. It does come with a DC power adapter, and then you can plug your cameras into this. Now, I would recommend checking the power rating of your cameras. This one will take 8 PoE ports with a total wattage of 62 watts. So just keep in mind there when you're purchasing your equipment that you're not going to have to upsize later on, and you have a plan for how many cameras that you want. So let's look at the footage, the audio and video testing. So I did at 10-foot increments with both the wide angle lens as well as the pan and tilt lens. I did notice that the license plate that I was carrying kind of fades out at about 60 feet, which is pretty good. Anything beyond that, a lot of cameras do struggle with. So here is the audio and video test during the day of both lenses. Audio video test at 10 feet. Audio video test at 20 feet. Audio video test at 30 feet. Audio video test at 40 feet. Audio video test at 50 feet. Audio video test at 60 feet. Audio video test at 70 feet. Audio video test at 80 feet. Audio video test at 10 feet. Audio video test at 20 feet. Audio video test at 30 feet. Audio video test at 40 feet. So let's look at nighttime. So nighttime, you can use the installed floodlight, which is part of the camera. You can have that on to turn on when you get an activated detection. Or if you choose to be a little bit more stealthy, then you can choose to turn that off and use infrared. Both the fixed lens and the PT lens has two infrared LEDs. So I had one issue while recording that night. And what it was is I was going behind a tree that was fairly close to the camera. It was roughly 15 feet. And it's a pretty sparse tree, and it should have been able to track me through it. But it wasn't. So I looked at the footage and I noticed that I do have a hook that is hanging down from a board just off to the right side that is housing a bug zapper. So I took that down and did the walk past, and it didn't have a problem. It tracked me, it saw me. What was happening was with the infrared lighting, as it came over, it got an IR flare, a white spot, because it was now changing the exposure because there was something close to the lens. So keep this in mind when installing the camera, and also keep in mind regular cleaning is important, because what happens is a cobweb can pop up at any time and destroy your night footage, because again, it will overexpose that area. You won't be able to see anything in the background. So getting into the settings, we click the little gear icon, and here we have our detection. So looking on here, it is set to auto track, which you can turn on and off, and our motion detection, pet, person, vehicle is all on. And if we click on one of those, we can actually change. So this is one issue that some people have mentioned in the comment section, is it's not detecting, or it's just detecting everything. So if you have some trees blowing on a windy day like it is today, you can actually turn the motion sensor down so it's not picking up all those little motions. Or you can turn the motion sensor itself completely off. Then what you can do is you can go into the person, pet, vehicle, and you can adjust those accordingly. There is a little bit of a learning curve when you get it set up to figure out what it needs to record and what it doesn't need to record. There is a cross-line detection system as well as camera tampering. I've got that off right now, but it can send you a notification. Cross-line detection just basically means, especially in the city, if you have your neighbor's lawn or the sidewalk, you can go in on each camera here and you can grab a hold of, oh, I had to click on it first, sorry. You can grab a hold of it and you can actually spin that. So if I don't want to get notified of the ponies, I can then just cross that off there and call that my boundary. So you can add different boundaries and delete them below. You can switch directions as to which side of the line you want detections are off. So this is probably more so for in the city when you have smaller lots. So that's the detection. You've got a tap to focus, which is on, which basically means you can tap on the wide angle lens. You hold it for, I think it's 3 seconds. The pan and tilt will then spin around and look at that location. You do have the Tapo Carefree trial, so you can try the extra subscription-based cloud. And usually they also come with, and I believe this does as well, is when you get a notification, you actually get a photo of what's going on and why it sent you the notification. Storage and recording. So local storage, oh, I was going to say it's off, but it was just loading. Local storage is on, and I do have a 64 gigabyte card in there, and you can see it's pretty much full. So of testing. You can change your recording schedule. If you want to record certain times and certain events, you can change that as well. And depending on your area, you may or may not be allowed to record audio, or it may be inadmissible in court. There's a lot around audio and camera systems. Here in Manitoba, we are allowed to record audio as long as one person in the conversation knows they're being recorded. So you can't eavesdrop on somebody, on two people that are talking maybe bad about you or or whatever without their knowledge. So that's kind of how it works here, but of course it varies in different areas. Your video and display, here it is. You've got your video quality, which is 4K, 8 megapixel. If you click on that, you can change it down to 720 for some data savings, and you can adjust it depending on what you need and what your requirements are. So it will, that 64 gigabyte will get you a lot longer if you're recording at a lower resolution. So the detection tag here, detection tag is on, and is the little box that just shows you what area is being detected. On-screen display information, so that is all of that information and where it's located. Do you have the date and time? Do you have the name of the camera? Do you have a little icon that shows which camera it is? Is it the fixed? Is it the pan and tilt? You can change all of your display options and formats in there. And that's pretty much it. Display on-screen tag, which is, yeah, all your tagging. So you can customize it like that. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do have any questions whatsoever, please put them down in the comment section. I often do get questions from people interested in maybe purchasing the camera or who have purchased the camera and just need a little bit of direction. They're pretty easy to use, but sometimes there's quite a bit of settings to get in. And when I test these cameras, I try to go through everything and put in all kinds of scenarios. But I have heard things from comments that I've had to retest or test because I didn't cover in the original video. So that's it for this video. I will put a link to this camera down in the description, so you can go down there and have a look at that and see if this is something you would like. And again, if you have any questions about this camera, please leave them down below and we'll get back to you. Take care, and until next time, happy recording. Bye.